Morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexi Odds here, and it's Friday. We got to say fuck Brooklyn because we're playing Brooklyn tonight in Brooklyn, Barclays Center. Third matchup against the Brooklyn Nets this season. And we're going to have all the matchups against them out of the way very soon because we'll play our fourth and final matchup against them within the next 2 weeks also. Very interesting how our schedule's front loaded with Brooklyn Nets games, that we really get them out of the way before the midpoint of the season. And I don't know. There's a lot of fishy stuff about the schedule this year for the Raptors. They said we have one of the easiest schedules in the league this year, but I don't totally believe them. The reason why they say we have one of the easiest schedules is because we don't travel as many miles. Now, hear me out, and I may be a little weird right now, but I have a theory that teams, when you travel and you fly, sometimes you get energized with kinetics from flying so much, and that maybe not flying enough could be bad for your team. I know that sounds weird or crazy, but have you ever gone on a long flight and felt some sort of energy at the end of it just because you were up in the air going really fast for a while? So I'm wondering about that. But anyway, I don't think our schedule's that easy this year. It's been crazy this year, and it may be just indicative of what we've been talking about recently, that the NBA is just really good all around. There's not a slouch team anymore that you can have kind of a night where you can kind of play not to the hardest and still win the game, because it's not like that anymore. Every single game, you need to come out with a good effort, Raptors, and kick some ass. In fact, that's my biggest key to the win tonight. Let's play as a team and let's Raptor their asses off. We got to be the Raptors, baby. We got to come out there, steal the ball. We got to pester them. We got to rebound. We got to play good defense. We just got to be annoying as hell. And when we do that, we'll win. That is the thing that we need to do the most. Play as a team. Play as Raptors, the way Raptors play. And that is stealing the ball, being aggravating, deflections, offensive rebounds, annoying the hell out of Kevin Durant. That is what we need to do today. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this Brooklyn Nets team we're playing today is the best version of the Brooklyn Nets we've seen all year. When we lost to them in the second game of the season, we got them a good feeling win, because they couldn't win around that time. In fact, we were like the only win out of their first 8 games. It's insane that we let them have those good feelings at the beginning of the season because they were all messed up. And I hated that happened. Well, and then the second game, Kyrie finally came back from his suspension, and he killed us. He's killed us both times we played them. Now, Fred has talked very recently about his affinity for Kyrie's game. That Fred has talked glowingly about Kyrie being one of the toughest people to guard, one of the people that he looks at in awe around this league. Well, we can't have that today. Fred, you got ejected from the game on Wednesday. You should have a little chip on your shoulder today to come out there. Oh, it's the siren. I'm just going to have a siren dance party whenever a siren comes through here. It's going to be a new segment. So I'm just saying, Fred, you may be in awe of Kyrie and be like, wow, he's one of the greatest ever, somebody that you really look up to and think is one of the best to ever play. But you can't be thinking that way tonight. No, we need to take this team down. Our strength against them is that we are a team much more than they are. I've said this so many times about the Brooklyn Nets in the last couple years, that they are superstars with filler roster around them. And that in a lot of cases, if you are a very good team and you play with the team concept and you play strong as a team, you should be able to beat the Brooklyn Nets. And I really do believe this, that, they have Kevin and Kyrie, sure. But, after that, I'm telling y'all, it's nothing like really crazy good. Let's look at the injuries for today. Otto Porter Jr. and Precious Achiuwa are already called out for the Raptors, and the 905 guys are away. Jeff Doughton, Ron Harper Jr., and Justin Champagnie. Now, Jeff Doughton may be back for today, but I'm not sure. I don't know. They were in Delaware yesterday, and they lost. I'm going to look at their box score because I've got it. I did not watch the 905 game yesterday because it was on ESPN+, but Monique did post a link to it in our Facebook chat so that you can watch the entire game on YouTube. I don't know if I'll go back and watch it, especially since it's a loss, but I do have the stats here, and we can talk about that game in Delaware, the 905 loss last night. I really don't like how much they're losing, honestly. They did better last year at this time than they're doing this year. And I know that the team's a lot different. All right, on the net side of things, Alondes Williams is ruled out for today. It's his thigh. Dayron Sharp is day to day. Could play tonight. Ben Simmons has already been ruled out for today. It's his knee. And unfortunately, our good friend Yuta Watanabe will not be appearing in the game tonight. Also, it's his right hamstring. It is a strain, and MRI has reconfirmed that, and he will be reassessed in a week. So unfortunately, Yuta is still not suited up to have a matchup against the Raptors tonight. He did play in the first game against us of the season, but he did not play in the last two against Brooklyn. So there's your injury report. Pretty much the same for the Raptors, nothing new. And you know Chris Boucher is not on that injury list. For anybody who's worried about what happened to Chris at the end of the Pelicans game the other night, he's fine, and he will be playing tonight, y'all. So don't worry about Chris Boucher. Bam. All right, let me check in on the comments with you guys, and we'll go from there. Isaac Campbell is here bright and early. I got to the spot early, y'all, because that's what I want the Raptors to do tonight. Get to those defensive spots early to stop the Brooklyn Nets. We need to stop them. So you got to get to the spot early. And that's why I'm on early, baby. On an early 9-10 start today. Yeah, I want to start real early because it is the Nets. And it's really important we beat the Nets because we've lost to them twice. If we want to tie the series, we have to win the last two games in these next 2 weeks. So it's kind of important. And then another thing I want to do is I want to increase our road record better. That we need to get more wins on the road. And we're going to be on the road tonight. So if we can win tonight, that helps our road record because it's not good. It's not as good as I'd like it to be. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to win a game on Friday. The Raptors have not won a single game on a Friday night this season yet. We need to win tonight just to get that stupid Friday thing out of here. Because why can't we win on a Friday, Raptors? What are you guys doing? Are you TGIFing too hard and saying, oh, well, thank God it's Friday. I can take a break. Fuck that shit. And fuck Brooklyn. You need to go in there with good effort and deal with it a Friday just like it's a Monday. Where you're showing up for the first day of the work week and you come kick some ass. It's not the weekend. You got to go there and you got to beat their ass in Barclays Center tonight. That's what I'm saying. Get it, Raptors, and don't come half-assed. Y'all need to come in there with the right effort, the attitude. What Nick Nurse tells y'all to go out there and execute, you go out there and execute it and kick some ass. That's what I'm saying today, baby. Woo! All right, Tom Duke saying, good morning. Here we go, Raptors. Think you are right. No team with whoever is missing can be tough. No team, no whatever. It doesn't matter. We can look at injury reports and say, oh, they're going to be easier because Brandon Ingram's not going to be there. Well, that's a fib. That is a fib. We need to not take anybody lightly. I'm not even going to look at the refs anymore and say they're our friends because the ones on the other day were not our friends, obviously. So I'm not going to say, and I know this crew is not our friend. I already know who our crew chief is today. Yeah, we're getting Ed Malloy today. And I hate that. Ed Malloy is a notorious ref hit job referee. He's a ref that has screwed us over overtly and single-handedly in games last season. We lost 2 games because of Ed Malloy, very personally. Just him, just the one fucking ref. He has hurt us really bad in the history of the Raptors, Ed Malloy. And he is our crew chief tonight. Yes, Ed Malloy. He is in his 22nd season. He is from the Pennsylvania referee mafia. His favorite TV show is Jeopardy. Rest in peace, Alex Trebek, Canadian legend. Favorite movie, Braveheart. His favorite books are the Tom Clancy books. And his favorite musician is U2. And it's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. And his favorite meal is pasta. Y'all, he just wants pasta. Now, in some ways, when you say pasta, Ed Malloy, it's kind of like saying breakfast because there is a plethora of pasta. What kind of pasta? Is it rigatoni? Is it penne? Is it spaghetti? What is it, Ed Malloy? Is it just pasta? It doesn't matter if you make the fresh pasta like grandma used to. It's okay with Ed Malloy. Is that what it is, Ed Malloy? You just want pasta. How do you say it? Do you say pasta or pasta? I say pasta, but I have family members that say pasta, and it's really weird to me because we're in the same family. But then, all right, let's look at Ed's record with us. Actually, the last time we played with Ed Malloy as a ref, we won. So our record has been going up with him. We win 46% of our games when Ed Malloy is there. This is pretty normal for like these older refs like Tony Brothers and Pat Frere, at Michael Smith, at James Capers. They're all right around the same place as these old school refs. But Brooklyn Nets only win 42% of the time when Ed Malloy's present. So we actually have a better winning percentage under ref hit job man Ed Malloy, who still hasn't found what he's looking for. I'm gonna do that whenever I get Ed Malloy. I'm gonna be singing some U2 because that's his favorite band. All right, our second ref is Justin Van Dyne. He is from California. He is a younger ref. He's in his 10th season. His favorite TV show is Entourage. He likes the Jason Bourne movies. His favorite musician is Jimmy Allen. His favorite book is Moneyball. He'd like to visit every baseball stadium. And his favorite meal is sushi, guys. This is a young, hip ref, Justin Van Dyne. And he's not bad for us. I mean, we could have a better record under him, but we win 56% of the time when Justin Van Dyne is referee. And the Brooklyn Nets win 42.9%. So 43%. Once again, this referee statistically favors us historically compared to the Brooklyn Nets. So Justin Van Dyne, get some sushi for this man. And then the third ref is Nate Green. We've seen Nate Green quite a bit in the preseason and different times recently. So we know a bit about him. 5th season refereeing out of Terre Haute, Indiana. He is his favorite show is The Wire. His favorite movie is Coming to America. He likes Selena Johnson to listen to. His favorite app is Netflix, and his favorite meal. Now, this is what you should have said, Ed Malloy. Something like this: tagliatelle bolognese. That is a pasta dish, not just pasta, Ed Malloy. You could learn something from your young third ref, Nate Green, who is actually one of the most favorable referees to the Toronto Raptors historically. We win 71% of the time when Nate Green is present on the court. And meanwhile, Brooklyn wins 61.5% of the time. So 62%, 71% for us. Very much favoring us, each ref. But I know Ed Malloy. Ed Malloy is directed by the NBA to keep the status quo, to keep the teams that they want to win going, yo. And that is what we've got to worry about with Ed. If there's some fishy shit, watch Ed Malloy tonight, because he could do similar stuff to what those guys did on Wednesday, and it will really hurt us tonight. In fact, he's a very calculated ref hit job guy. He will make huge calls that will absolutely turn the tide of the game and can really fuck over a team in major ways. And he is not afraid to do that. He will do that shit. So there's our ref crew for tonight: Ed Malloy, Justin Van Dyne, and Nate Green. Now, the other two refs, the younger refs, are a little more friendly than Ed. And once again, we're playing in Brooklyn, and Ed Malloy is there in Brooklyn. I never like those kind of settings. So with or without Ed, with or without Ed, I can live with or without Ed. I'm feeling good about doing U2 today. Oh my gosh. All right. Tom Duke is saying, let's see, seize the day. Let's get back to true Raptors basketball, dominating on defense and winning the possession battle. Yes, Tom Duke, you go. That's right. Tom is already thinking about his day today out there on the West Coast in Victoria, British Columbia. He's going to do his day like with Raptors excellence. That's what he's going to do. He's going to go tackle his job today. He's going to Raptor it. He's going to go out there and he's going to kick so much ass on his job today. He's going to do exactly right with excellence, pride, and quality, just like the Raptors organization runs itself. You go, Tom Duke, and you Raptor your day of work so you can get that good energy up in the world for the Raptors to go to work tonight against the Brooklyn Nets and put it all out on the court and beat their ass. Yes. is. Masai said, fuck Brooklyn. So we need to go and fuck up Brooklyn tonight. Yes, we do. Mike is here. Logical Raptors fanatics, salute the real ones. And Project Truth always. Project Truth, telling the truth about the Raptors, even when the U.S. and Canadian medias don't necessarily want to say the truth about the Raptors. So we're going to have to see how they do tonight. Oh my gosh. Let's go, Mike. Hugh is here. This will be a fun game. Hopefully we don't get outshot and beat from the get-go. Yeah, we want to contain things. We want to do things a certain way and be smart about it, Hugh, for sure. We want to be the aggressor. We want to make less turnovers. We want to get them to cough the ball up. We want to crash the boards. That's one thing that's different about the Nets compared to the Pelicans. They don't have Jonas Valanciunas. They don't have a crazy good defensive rebounder, and they are susceptible to get boarded on by offensive rebounds and putbacks. So we really do need to do that. We need to attack the basket in both ways, whether it's off a miss and putting it back in, or just attacking the rim like an aggressive OG Anunoby or Pascal Siakam would. So yeah, we need to get that stuff done. Tom Duke's got the light. He's got the police out. He's got a celebration, and he's got Saturday Night Fever going on. Okay, Tom, you celebrate out there. John Alvarez is here. Good morning to Raptor Freak John Alvarez. Good morning, everyone. I can't see the rest, but that's all right. Fuck them. Is that I'm gonna finish your sentence for you, John. Fuck Brooklyn is what you meant to say right there. I love it. Tom Duke has put in the link for the 905 game from last night. So if anybody wants to review the 905 game from last night, there's the link. Let me just go over the box score for you guys real quick. This is very interesting. Last night was the first time the Raptors 905 had Jeff Doughton Jr., Ron Harper Jr., and Justin Champagnie all playing at the same time. It was, in fact, a very great starting lineup by them. Gabe Brown, Reggie Perry, Ron Harper Jr., Jeff Doughton Jr., and Justin. And they lost by 10 points, 127 to 117 in Delaware last night. Now, Reggie Perry broke a 905 record. He scored 24 points and got 24 rebounds, y'all, including 10 offensive rebounds. You go, Reggie Perry. That is a record for the 905 ever. No one has ever gotten 24 rebounds for the Raptors 905. So congratulations, Reggie Perry, on setting a team franchise mark. Also in that game, Justin Champagnie got 22 points and 10 rebounds himself. So he had a double-double as well, going up against his brother, Julian Champagnie, who was playing for the Delaware Bluecoats, who also got a double-double in rebounds and points. 27 points for Julian Champagnie with 10 rebounds. So you had three guys with double-doubles, and two of them were named Champagnie in that game last night. So Reggie Perry breaking the record for 905, and then Justin and Julian dueling, both with double-doubles. Now, the rest of the guys on the team did pretty well. Ron Harper Jr., 24 points, 8 of 16 shooting, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. So Ron Harper doing a bit of stat stuff in there. Gabe Brown, 16 points, 4 of 10 from 3, 6 of 15 from the field, 8 rebounds, 1 steal and 1 block. Not a bad game by Gabe Brown. Somebody I'm really keeping my eye on. Jeff Doughton going down there and getting 21 points, 7 of 16 shooting, 9 assists for Jeffrey, a true point guard. Now, off the bench, nobody really of note. Our bench scoring was pretty bad, actually. We only got 10 points off the bench. Christian Vital hit 3 points. Then we had the new guy we just got, Gravette, who we just signed to replace Sabian Lee. He got 3 points, and then Melvin Frazier and Kenny Wooten got a bucket each also. But other than that, nobody off our bench did much. Now, on the other side, Patrick McCaw did play for Delaware, but only played 4 minutes. He did not score. But it really was a Julian Champagnie leading the way for the Delaware Bluecoats in their victory. Mitch McClung with 21 points also, and Mays off the bench with 26. Charlie Brown Jr. with 15, and then Culver with 18. But yeah, Bluecoats beating the 905 last night. We don't like to see that. Like I said, they need to get some wins. 4-5 record right now is not good enough to get into the showcase tournament for around Christmas. That's a money tournament. that is for money and a little bit of prestige. So these guys may want to win this and do really well in it, but they won't be set up to even participate if they don't start winning more of these games right now. But you go Raptors 905 and Champagny Brothers. What a fun game for you guys. I'm sure your folks were watching and just really enjoying Justin versus Julian, because it really was the first time they ever played against each other and like really pow, 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 pow. And they were the main guys fighting. All right, Boston Sports is here with the Shamrocks. Yes, the Shamrocks. Yes, 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 Shamrocks. Desire to win against Brooklyn. Desire, fever getting higher as the Raptors beat the Nets. I got to do that. It's because it's U2 day, since we got Ed Malloy refereeing us today. All right, Boston Sports, you and your Shamrocks, we'll see you on Monday. You're a little ahead of yourself. You come in and see my preview then. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free crew. It's a beautiful day is my mantra song. Really? You like that song, Cool Cat? You know, I love that song too. I'm a big U2 fan myself. Seriously, I don't judge me on this. It's something that comes honest since I was a very little kid. They've just always been my favorite band. But you know, that song is a song that I just got so sick of because they played it so much on the radio. I'd be everywhere. I'd be in the Eaton Center, downtown somewhere, and it's just playing like since 2001. But over time, I've grown to appreciate it. That it is kind of like what a standard song that you just hear in doctors' offices and grocery stores and stuff like that. Elevators, you might hear, it's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away. Yeah, I love that though, Cool Cat. That's one of your mantra songs. That's very cool. All right, Mike's saying good early start day. Great vibes for my recording after the stream on for Saturday. Vibes are solid today. Okay, Mike's doing a vibes check. He's put his toe in the water and the water feels good, is what he's saying. The Raptors Freak had my back against the Fred VanVleet slanders yesterday. They saw 3 trolls versus Logic. All right, good stuff. Well, that's what I'm saying, Mike. That's what I'm saying, man. If you're in the Raptor Freak cult, you're going to have Raptor Freaks around. They may just actually come in real handy in a pinch because something's going down like that. You go Raptor Freak cult, and thank you for standing up for Mike, especially standing up for the name of Fred VanVleet against slanderers right now. Listen, that man had 2 points on Wednesday and got ejected by a big bully named Kevin Cutler. Yeah, you think he's going to come out today with a little fire, a little intensity? Maybe he's a little better rested because he didn't play as many minutes on Wednesday, and he's got better gumption to come out and kick some ass. Yes, I want to see Freddie have a huge game tonight. I want to see all of them kick some ass. Take this game real seriously. Pascal, you need to prove something to Kevin tonight and show him that you are the captain now. Yeah, just like in that movie with Tom Hanks. You need to tell Kevin that. You need to come out to the court and say, have you seen what I've been doing lately, Kevin? And Kevin's like, yeah, I kind of have, Pascal. He's like, well, I am the captain now. I want him to do that to him today. I want Pascal to do that to Kevin because you are the captain now, Pascal. And you need to rightfully take your spot at the steering wheel of the game tonight as the superstar, the guy who's going to drive the game towards the Toronto victory. You need to do this tonight, Pascal. That is the next part of whole thing about being the man and being the superstar and being unstoppable and being a badass, being all NBA, being top 5. This is all a part of that package, is that you need to go in against Hall of Famers, top 75 all-time players and say, I don't give a shit what you have done or who you are, or if you're this good or whatever. I'm going to be the best player on the court tonight, and you are going to see it in the game tonight. That's what I want Pascal to do tonight. I really, really do. Kareem Thomas is here. Good to see you, Kareem. I watched the Raptors 905 last night, and now I know why Reggie Perry got sent back down. Dude makes some boneheaded decisions. It's a mixed bag with him. You know, he can look brilliant at times and do so many good things, but you're right. He isn't totally clean with some of his decision making, and he can make some mistakes. One of the things I still don't like about what 905 are doing down there is they're not playing off each other well enough. There's way too much. I'm going to take the ball and try and go at 2 or 3 guys by myself. And that it's just stupid. I hate that kind of basketball. Whenever you see 2 or 3 guys around you, that means you need to pass it. And there's not enough of that happening on that level. And you could even say that happens on our level, up at the main level too, with the regular Raptors also. We got to get some better passing out of double teams. Now, certain players have gotten better at it over the years, like Pascal and OG, and we just need guys to continue to do that. Now, the 905 guys, especially, because I hate how they try and force things through double teams. And Reggie Perry is very guilty of doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, you enjoyed that game last night, Kareem Thomas. It's fun to watch 905, and it's kind of cool to. I bet it was real cool to watch the Champagnes. All right, let's see. Isaac Campbell, what are you saying right now? You should start the stream in solidarity with the 905 at 9:05 o'clock. 910 is some area code in North Carolina. Reggie Perry got 24 rebounds last night. I know that is huge, huge. Now, I'll tell you why Isaac Campbell had to start at 910 is because they don't post the referees until 9:05. So you're literally getting the referee report 5 minutes hot and fresh off the oven. That's like the fresh donuts out of Krispy Kreme. You're getting them right out of the machine, hot and fresh, right from there, that referee report. So I couldn't go at 9:05 because I'll tell you why. The referees are not known until like 9:07. And then boom, in 3 minutes, I'm doing the calculations for the ref report. And that's why it was like 9:10 is the earliest I can go, Isaac. Unfortunately, I would love to go at 9:05 because I love what you're saying, but I can't if I want to do the ref report unless I go and check it while I'm on. So there you go. Omari's saying, just don't say Tony Brothers. Well, Ed Malloy. Yeah, I know. Actually, Tony was great for us the other day. Like, seriously, he really was a really good ref for us. What game was that? We played Cleveland on Monday. Was he the ref there? Yeah, he was. He was the ref for us on Monday against Cleveland. And look at how that game went, Omari. So I'm not afraid of Tony Brothers. Tony Brothers is fine. It's other refs I don't like. And Ed Malloy is maybe number one on the list. I really don't trust Ed Malloy. And I think that he is crooked. He's a crooked ref in a lot of ways. And sometimes you can make it on your own. I'm just gonna throw stupid ass U2 songs in every once in a while here because Ed Malloy's our ref. That may be a thing with like Ed Malloy when he's our ref. I'm just gonna sing a lot of U2 since it's his favorite band. All right, Tom Duke's got the platters for them already. Look at Tom. He's already ahead of himself. I didn't even say, let's get the food down there because I'm not doing that anymore. These guys don't deserve the food after Wednesday. Ben Taylor, Kevin Cutler, fuck you guys. I should have never door dashed all that food to you and incurred a $5,000 surcharge delivery fee. Why did I do that? I'm so crazy. I ruined my life. I'm just kidding. Of course, I didn't do that. But yeah, okay, Tom's got the food to send down to Barclay for the refs for tonight. He's got the spaghetti. It looks like he's just going to send Ed Malloy spaghetti. You're not going to specify the pasta, Ed Malloy. You just get spaghetti, the default pasta. Meanwhile, there's the sushi for Justin. I like that. And look, Tom's got a really nice dish for Nate Green. So good job, Tom Duke. You are a humanitarian. Hopefully the referees will take your gesture of goodwill and be real nice to the Raptors tonight. Tom Duke is saying dinner in Brooklyn. Let's go. And there's the 5 Raptor lineup. I love it. Hugh's also saying the Pels match was the best scenario for Zion. We don't have any players to match the girth. Mike Gander. OG is the next closest thing, but he isn't as agile as Zion. I really feel like Achua would have kept up. Yeah. We were talking about this a bit yesterday, that Precious being healthy against New Orleans might have really helped because he might have been the guy who could actually guard Zion because none of our guys that were available on Wednesday night could guard Zion. And you're right, Hugh. He just had a really good matchup against us. And in some ways, like I said, Zion Williamson blossomed as an NBA player and superstar against the Raptors on Wednesday night. You hate to see it, but man, that dude is interesting. He's very interesting. I don't hate him. I kind of really like him. His energy and the feel about him is kind of cool. And I'm very happy for the New Orleans team and their fans that they get such a fun team to root for this year. And hey, hell yeah, I'd love to see them in the finals on the Western side. So, yeah, I think Precious would have helped for sure. I think you're exactly right. Logical saying Perry coming around. The 905 GM said they were looking for Perry to be more of the leader this year with more 905 experience and call-up experience. For sure. I mean, he's in his 3rd year. He's one of the older guys on the team. He definitely should be one of the leaders. I mean, he was a leader last year even, like in his 2nd year. So, yeah, Reggie's actually a good leader. He's very Oakley-like to me. Like, he kind of he looks like a young Oakley, first of all, in some ways. Like, you see him, he's got the same body frame, and he's the same height. And sometimes he has the same kind of looks in his face, like young O, kind of like, I don't fuck around with me. Like, oh, you're really gonna do this? Yeah, that kind of stuff. Is the way he look, his facial expression sometimes. I love Reggie. I've always wondered why we can't have him come up on our main roster, but it's just not the right fit for what we want with our team. And he's good for our 905, and he's enjoying being on our 905 because he's getting good development for sure. And he probably will get a call up this year. He got called up to Portland a couple times last season, and he just, I don't understand why they didn't keep him over there, but he'll probably get called up this year. I'm betting he will. G saying 905 is missing Delano, and it shows. Hopefully, this will be a way for other players to step up. Yeah, I think you're very, very correct with that. That Delano Banton was such a driver of success for the 905 team last year, literally driving them to success with his quick handle and attacking the rim. Yeah, and he is somebody who's not playing for them this year, and that is a big kind of difference in how they've been capable or not. Like, he really was good at taking care of the ball and kind of keeping them organized and running the team. And I don't know if there's necessarily a point guard that's stepped up in his absence since. I mean, sure, Jeff Doughton Jr. to a degree, but in some ways, it's there's that role that Delano did for them last year has not been stepped into by somebody. OG saying OG was an honorary mention for Player of the Month. Wow, that's something. That's something. Seriously, that is something. He was honorary mention for NBA Player of the Month, Eastern Conference, I'll bet. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Cool Cat saying U2 is one of my favorite bands, along with Bon Jovi for my rock genre. Awesome, Cool Cat. Yeah, I love both those bands too. One of the first tapes I ever owned was Slippery When Wet. Never say goodbye. Never say goodbye. You and me and my old friends holding on to the bitter end. Say goodbye. Yeah, you're getting your Bon Jovi and U2 today, Cool Cat. There you go. All right, Mike's saying, Cool Cat, not gonna lie, I don't know even if you like the Killer Cat thing. Sorry, memory thing. I nicknamed certain names because I know a lot of cats. Okay, Mike, you crazy, man. All right, yeah. Well, listen, that's why I didn't want to call her that name when you kept calling her that. It's like, I know Cool Cat. I don't know who this Killer Cat is. Like, what is she going around killing people or something? Ah, no, Cool Cat's cool. And yeah, Killer Cat, I don't know. Anyway, Mike, once again, Mike, you're really fun in the chat for different reasons. Isaac saying Raptor Freak bringing up the Baker's dozen hot and fresh. That's right. That's right. You got to get that hot and fresh referee report from me. Ed Malloy, Justin Van Dyne, and Nate Green are your refs. Just came out 10 minutes ago. That's how I know. And I'm on the cutting edge. Breaking news. Here's your ref report from the Raptors Freak. All right, let's see. Cool Cat saying that logical. I'm a chill, laid back girl who use whatever nickname you want. I chuckle because I know a lot of folks think I'm a guy based on my opinions and knowledge. Ha ha ha. I know sometimes I feel like I shouldn't out you, Cool Cat. And sometimes I do it for dramatic effect, especially in this chat. Like if somebody's talking or to you or interacting and I get that feeling that that's kind of going on, I'll like let them know, like, and make them kind of like, I'll be the one that reveals it and like says something like she or her. And then boom, I'm thinking the same thing, Cool Cat. I'm like, yeah, I just dropped that knowledge on you that you may be dealing with a female lady and you are not dealing with some dude that you think you're talking to. So I blow your cover on that, but I do it very strategically. So they're like, oh, okay. I hope you don't mind that. I know you seriously, your knowledge and opinions are fantastic. And listen, this is the whole thing. It's so dumb. Everybody genderizes everything. You know, everybody can know everything and every kind of thing. Like guys can know all about kind of things that were gender role, like female stuff down the road, like in the past, and vice versa. It's so stupid, that kind of stuff, when it gets like that. And I love the new age world. It isn't so like defined like this. Like that's boy stuff. That's girl stuff. Fuck that shit. It's everybody's stuff. You like stuff, go like stuff and go like whatever you want to like. I don't care who you are, what gender, whatever, whoever you identify, or whatever you want to do. You do your thing and enjoy your things, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I do strategically sometimes reveal that for you. And sometimes I wonder, it's like, oh, aha. All right, Monique is here. Always good to see Raptors super fan Monique Lawrence. Good morning, everyone, and happy game day. Contain Kyrie and KD, foul trouble, defend well, guard the three. Here's her keys to the victory. We got to contain Kyrie and KD. A tall order, not the easiest thing to just say to do. And hopefully we can either minimize them or maybe we can minimize their teammates and just let them have what they want. I don't know what Nick's plan is going to be for tonight. That's the evil genius of Nick Nurse's defense. I shouldn't say evil, but maybe he's evil because he wants to take things away from them like the Grinch. So what is his complaint going to be today? Like, how's he crafting his fine craft defensive scheme for how he wants to deal with Brooklyn Nets tonight? Like, what is he telling OG today? What is he telling him this morning? I'm wondering what kind of brilliance that he's coming up with, some genius plan to stop the Brooklyn Nets tonight. And I want to see it in action tonight and be very successful, very effective in doing something like what Monique is describing here, containing Kyrie. Woo, I wish if we can do anything like that, that'd be amazing. I mean, at least contain some aspect of the Brooklyn Nets team today, some aspect. Maybe we can do something like we did to Kevin last time, because he did not have a good game scoring against the Raptors the last time we played them, and that really was kind of an OG Anunoby fingerprints all over that. Foul trouble on those guys? Yeah, I'd hope so. Maybe it's Ed Malloy, and he's kind of be looking out for them. He's going to probably be like, Sunday, bloody Sunday. I'm not going to call any fouls on them because they're superstars and we want to keep them in the game. But yeah, I would want him to maybe come down on them, but I don't know if he will. That's the whole thing. Ed Malloy will protect the status quo of the NBA head office, and keeping Kevin and Kyrie in the game and not in foul trouble is one of the things he will not allow. Now, I totally agree with your other two. Defend well and guard that three. They still have those three-point shooters around other than their main guys like Seth Curry and Joe Harris, Patty Mills. These guys are annoying. Royce O'Neal, so far this year when we played them, has shot really well from three also. So we need to keep track of them. I like our keys to victory, and I think they're very accurate. Now, the first two, I don't know if we can get them, but the second two we definitely need to be able to win today. Defend well and guard the three very well also. Thank you, Monique, for your contributions. And thank you for sending that link to the YouTube replay of the 905 game against the Blue Coats last night. Naco the Nacho saying, if it wasn't for his health, Zion probably would be best in the league. Well, he definitely would have gotten further already in his career and gotten more notoriety. It's maybe just an inevitable delaying of what's inevitable. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with him over the next couple of years. I am super intrigued with him. And like I said yesterday, I have to do the Shaq apology. I have to apologize. I'm not familiar with the game, and now I am. And yeah, you might be right. If he hadn't had all the injuries, he'd gotten further along already. All right, let's see. Mike saying, cool cat. Yeah, somebody told me you deliver basketball debate, headshot facts, hoop head call, the winning torching fact. All right. All right, Mike. You're crazy. All right, Tom's laughing at it too. And yeah, Tom's got some cool. He's got the cat in the box, and then the cat going, oh, doing Macaulay Culkin. Tom Duke really is an emoticon genius, like a master of emoticons. Where do you dig these emoticons up, Tom? You pay a little extra price to YouTube to get a special emoticon package so that you can have extra emoticons that nobody else has? Because it seems like that. How did you get that cat in a box? I've never ever seen that emoticon before. He has a cat in a box. How do you do this, Tom? Maybe I shouldn't know his secrets, and then he should just be a emoticon magician. I don't need to know his tricks. All right, Cool Cat saying Zion needed OG and Precious Pascal trio tag team defense. You want all three of them coming up to him, maybe even SCOTTIE too. Pelicans built and play like how Raptors is built and play. Teams using our playbook against us, we have to play hard and aggressive to win. This is so true. This is like New Orleans, Detroit. They beat us and have success because they out-Raptor us. And that's a big, big factor. We need to out-Raptor everybody. When somebody else is using our MO, our way of beating other teams against us, that's a problem. because that means we're not bringing the same effort as them, and they're able to out Raptor us. And I don't like that. I don't like teams out Raptoring us. This should be our thing. This is our thing. You trying to steal our thing? I said, no, fuck that. We're going to do it better than you. And we're going to stop you and out Raptor you still. When you try and out Raptor us, you step into us like you want to out Raptor us, we're going to out Raptor you back. So we really need to think this way, and we need to recognize when it's happening. It could be like, oh shit, they're trying to out Raptor us. Well, we need to out Raptor them, is what I'm thinking. Like tonight, we need to definitely out Raptor the Nets. They don't have the kind of roster overall to really out Raptor us. If they are out Raptoring us, then that means we're putting in a poor effort, and these guys are not trying hard enough. Because that is a sure sign of it. It's like if another team's doing what the Raptors do to them, instead it's getting done to us, then we are not coming with the right effort. I'm sorry. That's a telltale sign. Randolph Phillips is here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Good morning to our beloved Raptor freaks and most informative gang. Blessings to all on this game day. Our team has something to prove tonight. Let's go Raptors. Yes, we do. We lost on Wednesday. We hate it. We hate it. We absolutely hate it. We've lost both games against Brooklyn so far this year. We hate it. We absolutely hate it. We want to win against them tonight. And we need to get some good feelings on a Friday night. Everybody's sick of going out on their dates on Friday night after a Raptors loss and being like, what's wrong, honey? Why can't you enjoy yourself? We're having such a nice dinner at this fancy restaurant in downtown Toronto. The Raptors lost again on a Friday. You know, we don't want any of that. Stop ruining fancy dates in downtown Toronto because you keep losing on a Friday night, Raptors. You know, it makes it hard for us to enjoy our weekend. It's very much like when we play Boston on a Christmas morning and then Christmas is ruined because we got a hit job and we lost the Celtics first thing in the morning on Christmas morning. You know, let's not ruin our weekend. Come on, Raptors, go up there and beat the Brooklyn Nets so everybody can have a good time this weekend in Toronto. Wow. And then we're going to play Orlando here tomorrow. That's right. We got a back-to-back we're starting. First night of the back-to-back here. No, in Brooklyn tonight, and then here tomorrow night against Orlando. In fact, we're going to play Orlando 3 times in the next 10 days. It's going to be real weird. We're going to see a lot of Orlando real fast, real quick, starting tomorrow night. So this is the first night of a back-to-back where we got to come right back and play Orlando Magic here tomorrow, guys. So tomorrow will be a reaction preview in the morning on Saturday. All right, let's keep going. Monique is saying 3 stars for 905. Okay, cool. I like that Monique has given us her 3 stars for the 905 game last night. Reggie, Champagny, and Ron. Those are her 3 stars. Reggie Perry, Justin Champagny, and Ron Harper Jr. Bonus, Jeff Doughton Jr., congratulations on breaking the record, Reggie Perry. 24 rebounds in a single game for a Raptors 905 player. Record for the franchise. You go, Reggie Perry. Breaking franchise records for our G League. Mike saying Boucher out could be an issue. We had him on KD with Siakam as the help, and it worked solid in my opinion. So if he's out, that could not be good in scheme wise when they have KD and Kyrie sitting not together. All right, Mike, he's not out. If you heard my injury report, he's not listed. There's nothing wrong with him. That was just a scary, dirty play by Larry Nance Jr. at the end of the Pelicans game the other night, and he's fine. They told us he was fine after the game and Nick Nurse's interview, and he has not been anywhere near the injury list in the last 2 days. He's not listed, so Chris will be playing. Do not have this. Don't fret. Don't you fret, Mike. Don't you fret. Starscream is here. Holy crap, y'all. This is Brooklyn Nets fan coming to see us on the day of a Brooklyn Nets game. Let's see what Starscream's saying. It's been a while. All the best to you. It's a long time. Hey, man, it's a shame you guys aren't fully healthy tonight, and also NBA schedule makers. What the heck? How is the season series with the Raps almost over already? Hope both teams come out healthy after. Thank you, Starscream. Now, we wish well wishes, too, also for your injuries, also, especially Mr. Watanabe, that we really have a special place in our heart for Yuta. And I wish he was playing tonight because we love Yuta and we want to see him. Now, you want me to go over the injuries again real quick. We have Precious and Otto Porter Jr. out, which is too bad. But we're in much better shape than we were a week ago from now because Pascal's back. and Scottie Barnes, and a lot of our guys are healthy now. But I really appreciate your sentiment about a good, healthy game, a good game, two teams battling, having a good night, and just enjoying watching them. And I appreciate you coming in and checking in with us. I know we saw you a lot last year, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we didn't see you for a bit. But it's good to see you check in, and I do too. I think it's really weird that we're playing all the games against you guys so soon in the season. I don't know why they did that. I don't know if they're trying to help us or trying to help y'all by doing that. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, they should see it's like everything should be more spread out than it is, like it is this season. There's a lot of clustering of when you play certain teams and then you don't see them again for like the whole bulk of the season. It is really weird. But kudos to you, Starscream, for showing up and saying hi to us as a Brooklyn Nets fan. And may the best team win tonight. And yes, may there be no injuries. Everybody stay safe and healthy and just have a good, entertaining game. And hopefully the Raptors will beat y'all. Yes, but we'll see. We'll have to see. You guys are 2-0 against us for the season, and I have to respect that. Kyrie Irving specifically, he has been such a key player in both the victories over the Raptors this season. He showed up big time and took over the game and won those games for you guys both times. So I'm really worried about Kyrie tonight. Let's see. Omari's saying, someone tell I got 5 on it. I sent a counter offer to the trade request. He asked for Giannis from me for Oladipo. I countered with Durant and Oladipo for Dragic and Nesmith. Fair or no? I love this. I love that's Kareem Thomas, by the way, Omari. Just so you know, that's Kareem. Um, you guys can do these ridiculous trades back and forth in our Raptor Freak Fantasy Yahoo Fantasy Basketball League. Now, watch out when you do these crazy trades back and forth, joke trades. Somebody might hit accept by accident, and they may get a deal to go through that they really don't want to go through. So y'all be careful. Y'all are walking a tightrope. I've seen this crazy kind of stuff happen. But if anything weird happens too much, I do have commissioner tools and I can help somebody out if they hit the button by accident. But don't mess around too much with this because you may actually get that deal to go through Durant and Oladipo for Dragic and Nesmith. Yeah, so be careful, Kareem and Omar, if y'all are messing around with those trade jokes. That is hilarious, though. Hilarious. What is this? What is this? These are insulting offers that you're sending to each other. Hilarious. Jokes upon jokes. Hilarious. All right, let's see. Okay, Tom Duke is going crazy with the emoticons now. Raymond Jacob, too. What is that? A pink pile of poo with a cup? And then we got somebody saying stop and a goat. And like, okay, Raymond Jacob, it just like they just added more emojis. Okay. Yeah, because I see such colors. And there's the cats in the box. So Raymond Jacobs got them too. Okay. Okay, so Tom Duke isn't paying extra to get them. So Raymond Jacobs got them too. All right, Monique saying with Champagne healthy somewhat, could this mean something? Or do you think he's just up for Mama Champagne and Julian? I don't know. Champagne's so weird with how he's been hurt like so much, but now he's healthy and he's playing. He was healthy. He's been healthy for about a week now, and that's really good. I mean, he looked healthy at the open practice, the coach's open house on Sunday that I went to. Tom, you don't have to erase your beautiful emojis. I want to talk about them too. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Champagne on the big roster playing more. I don't know if that's going to happen at anytime soon. But definitely, if we like need people or bodies, it's just his dumb luck when everybody's hurt on the Raptors main roster. He's hurt also at the same time, and they all come back at the same time. So he doesn't get any time on the main roster Raptors when he probably would have gotten time just because his injury happened to coincide with everybody else's injuries. So he just wasn't available when he probably would have gotten time on the main Toronto Raptors roster. C'est la vie. That's how it goes sometimes. Raymond Jacobs saying, haha, Tom. He likes the pink doo-doo. Pretty funny. All right, Starscream saying, yes, thank you for Yuta. Damn, I love that guy. He plays so hard. He's a fan favorite already. Honestly, Starscream, one of the biggest acquisitions y'all made this summer was getting Yuta Watanabe. Your team has had very dark clouds hanging over it for a couple of years now. You've had all kinds of difficult things, whether it's the things with Harden, things with Simmons, things with Kyrie, all kinds of things with the vax, and then like the stuff with the controversy this year. That, Kevin being upset and being kind of jaded and thinking about the way he thinks about the NBA and his slot. He does not trust. He didn't trust y'all's management or your coach going into the season. And he illuminated why, because he felt like we weren't doing real practices. It's basically like just show up and shoot around, and coach isn't really directing us or teaching us team stuff. And Kevin really wants to win because he sees that clock ticking on his career. And he doesn't want to just be a one championship guy that can, like, the people will say, oh, he won because he was with Steph and all them. So he really is desperate to win another championship. And he doesn't see it happening with y'all. And that's part of the reason why he did what he did this summer. Well, the things like getting rid of Steve Nash, which was a real favor to him in some ways, and getting Jacques Vaughn. And I'm so glad y'all didn't hire Udoka. That would have been a fucking train wreck. And that would have been awful if y'all had done that for all kinds of reasons. But Jacques Vaughn is actually doing the coach kind of stuff that looks like now. And Kevin is enjoying playing again. In fact, I feel like Yuta showing up and his enthusiasm, his smile, the way he approaches the game, his passion for the game, his hard work really has rubbed off on Kevin and helped him to smile again. Then helped him to get an enthusiasm and a childlike passion for basketball again, because it lives in Yuta's heart. And I love that, because Yuta in some ways is just such a badass. We loved him so much up here. And I hate in some ways that y'all got him and y'all are figuring things out and getting better things, better vibes, just because of his presence on the team. Because he really has been an MVP for y'all, just for vibes, just for good feelings, and melting Kevin Durant's cold, icy heart. It's hard for him to be a surly, old, salty vet when he has such an enthusiastic young guy like Yuta running around next to him and just being such a good, like, effort role model. So yeah, man, he has been a huge pickup for you guys. And I knew he would. When you guys got him, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to help their culture so much. And it really did. And I hate that in some ways, because I don't want y'all to get better. And in some ways, I was like, damn, why didn't we let them get Yuta? We should have kept him and not let anybody get those good vibes from him. But he really loves playing for y'all too. And it sucks because in some ways he's more Brooklyn than us. Like we had him for a while and we love him. He'll always have a place in Toronto. But he started with you guys originally. He wrote that nice letter to y'all at the beginning of the season. And he really is more Brooklyn Nation in some ways. So you enjoy having Yuta on your team and really appreciate him and treat him right, like we would have treated him if he was still here. But yeah, he's a fan favorite for sure, because he does all the right things and he has the right kind of heart about what he does on the court. Mike's saying Twitch had my favorite ones for sure. Not gonna lie, they locked into keyboard autocorrect. Bless. Not like this. All right, I cannot, Mike. It's like you're speaking another language. I don't even know what that means. What is this? All right, Omari's saying Raptors foot is it, what is this? What is this? Yeah, what is that? What is the Raptor in the foot? Who put that in? I don't know. Kenrick's here. Good to see Kenrick James. Kenrick Chronic Art James on Facebook. Check out his art. If you have any kind of art piece you want commissioned, like a drawing, a painting, or something, Kenrick can help you out. Find him on Facebook at Kenrick Chronic Art James, and he can help you with some your art that you want made. He made some stuff for this channel. It's awesome. Big L. I don't know what that is. I think that's just a foot. It's not an L. I wouldn't take it as an L. Cool Cat saying, we need a night shooting classes. I feel bad seeing other teams shooting like butter, and we're bricking. With nets, we need Coloco rim protection. Want to see Gary Trent Jr. and SB4 to start. Okay, let's do a little bit of this since Cool Cat brought it up. Let's speculate about the starting lineup tonight. This may be a new segment since the starting lineup is not static like it was last year. It really seems like it could be changing every night for the near future, at least. All right, so let's say Fred, OG, and Pascal are penciled in for sure. We got those three in the starting lineup for sure. I'm going to guess that SCOTTIE will probably start once again, because we don't want to hurt his confidence, even though he had a bad game on Wednesday, and he needs to just continue to start. So it's really the extra starter that we just got to look at. Would it be Thad? Would it be Gary? Would it be Coloco? Would it be Cam. I don't know. Maybe it should be Koloko because that look is really good. Now, we had problems with Koloko versus Claxton in the first matchup against the Nets. Claxton kind of did some stuff, like rode him like a horse, and then Chris Boucher told him not to let him do that, and then the whole thing happened in Miami with Caleb Martin. Well, all right. If Claxton and Koloko are going at each other, that in some ways is not a good matchup for us. But I do kind of like Koloko starting. I think that Cool Cat's right. If we bring Koloko starting, he could be like a shot blocker that's really good. And it's not like we need a beefy center for this game like we did against the Pelicans on Wednesday. In some ways, you can get away with playing Koloko at center tonight just because of the makeup of the Nets team up front. They're not a big, beefy, rebounding kind of throw around weight team. They're very lanky and long, and that's exactly what Koloko is. So standing up across from them, that may be good. So who knows? Maybe Koloko should start tonight with the 4 other regulars. I like Gary coming off the bench still, personally. That scoring punch that he's shown off the bench in 2 games has been very valuable. And, in some ways it's working really well and providing something we haven't had off the bench in a while. So I don't know. My projected starting lineup for tonight is Fred, Scottie, OG, Pascal, and Christian Koloko. I think for some reason maybe he'll get the call tonight. But if it isn't him, it'll obviously probably be Thaddeus. It'll probably be Thaddeus because he's been starting Thad a lot. And that may be smart too, because Thad has been playing against Kevin Durant their whole entire careers. And that may be a good person just to have more vet savvy against the Nets. We need more vet savvy against the Nets. Thad Young's the right person to start. And we can get away with him not being undersized at center because it isn't a Zion Williamson and a Jonas Valanciunas. All right, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Nameless is here. I predict the Raptors win tonight. There's no way we come out flat. Nick Nurse going to have those boys fired up. That they probably fired up already just because they probably looked at their report cards from the New Orleans game. They get their report cards and they probably saw a lot of red on it. And they're probably like, this is really bad. Like, no wonder coach is so pissed. This is some of the worst report cards we've gotten so far this season, what we did against the New Orleans Pelicans. So there's a lot of motivation that's built into players by themselves without even the coaches even talking to them, because they have accountability for themselves by looking at the reports without the coaches even coming to tell them. They don't have to be humiliated in the coach and saying that you've dishonored me by playing so badly. They can silently look at the paper and feel it inside without anybody having to say it. So in some ways, that is a better way of doing it, because then there's no ill feelings from like, oh, they just came and told me that I'm suck. I can look at this and tell I suck by myself. It's kind of like that. So, yeah, I hope they are is very much a better effort than Wednesday. And I think there will be too. This is one of those kind of things where it's like going into the Dallas game last Saturday. We're like, yeah, we probably won't win, but you know what? Crazy things happen. And bam, crazy things happen and we do win. So I had that feeling too about today also, that we kind of got some get back to get against the Brooklyn Nets. And we're in a bad place from the last game, and we may be very, very motivated tonight. And, listen, the Nets have been winning a lot lately. They have not lost a lot of games recently. I think they've won like 6 out of their last 8. So this is the thing, y'all. They're dangerous. They're a lot more dangerous and got their shit together better than the other 2 times we played them. This is going to be the toughest Nets team we've seen out of the 3 times so far this year. They don't have Ben Simmons, though. And in some ways, that is actually a good thing, because he's really become like a very good engine for their offense as far as passing and facilitating and moving the ball around for them and helping them get good open looks. So no Ben Simmons actually really helps us tonight. So I'm not upset that he's not playing. Let's see. Tom Duke saying, Omari, what is it? Raptor foot. Oh, that's that dance, y'all. That was that dance they were doing during the championship year. You could do Raptor foot. Y'all don't know about Raptor foot? That's what it is, Tom. It was a phenomenon here in Toronto during the championship run. It was a dance. People were doing it. It's like, let me see if I can do it. It's like this and this. It's weird. It's like you hold up your foot and you bounce a little bit. I think that's how you do Raptor foot. I may be completely wrong. I don't know. Starscream saying, I was disappointed in KD in the summer, but once we got rid of Nash, he kicked into another gear. But I disagree with you. I wanted Udoka. Vaughn has been in charge of our D for 6 years and we're awful. Well, I don't care about that stuff. I care about the optics of it. Fuck Udoka. That man should listen. It would be really wrong if y'all undercut and took the Boston Celtics coach when he's fulfilling a year suspension. That would be dirty shit. Y'all already look bad in all kinds of different ways because of Kyrie and different things that have happened with your season. You go and get Udoka, you all just look like a trash team, like a dirty, like no class team. Because Udoka's getting punished for very bad things. And honestly, he may never coach again in this league, honestly, for what he did. It's not one incident. This dude can't keep in his pants. And he has had affairs every single place he's went. He did it in San Antonio, too, on the down low before he even got to Boston. So you want that dumpster fire on your team, Starscream? You want a guy who can't keep it in his pants and has a track record of this? You go ahead. You can throw some gas on your flames and your dumpster fire by doing that. So I'll say, yeah, it may look good basketball-wise and strategy-wise, but culture-wise, you would destroy your culture even further. And that's not what your owner wants, Joe Tsai. He wants a better culture there, and he's trying to clean it out. That's why all the reports about him coming to y'all, I was like, yeah, you go ahead and do that, Brooklyn. That would be a huge mistake, and for all kinds of different reasons. I'm telling you right now, I don't think that man's going to coach again because y'all don't even know the depths of how bad some of the stuff he was doing. Whether it was like lording over a support staff on the team and forcing them to have sex with him when they did not want to, or he was going and having sex with VP vice presidents' wives on the Boston Celtics team. So don't get it twisted. You want that kind of dumpster fire on your team, Starscream? You go ahead and get Udoka, and you realize how much of a mistake, just like a lot of the mistakes your franchise has made in the last couple of years, it would just be the latest one. So you dodge a bullet, trust me. And you may not be like, oh, that enamored with Jacques Vaughn, but he may not be the flashy choice, but he's their best choice right now, trust me. Because he's familiar with your team. He's at least been there for a while. Maybe the players actually respect him to a degree. And if you brought in that whole sideshow that is around Udoka right now, you would hate it. Trust me. So be careful what you wish for. Trust me. Omari's saying, gotta guess. Okay, he's saying Raptor foot. It's Raptor foot. I know that's what it is. Omari, tell me if I'm right. It's a Raptor foot. Mike's saying, not gonna lie. Yeah, Nets fans wanted Udoka and see that whole Celtics thing in a different light. Not gonna lie, there's a large group of NBA fans that see the Udoka thing as he got called out for something everyone is doing. Yeah, but that's not totally true. He is not getting called out for what everybody's doing. You know, is society really that degenerative that they don't respect people's marriages, that they don't respect, you know, that this is a work environment and that you shouldn't be having sex with people that are your subordinates? Yeah, I don't think society in general is about that. And people that think that what he did is not that bad and poo-poo it, you're fucking wrong. I'm going to tell you that right now. What he did is very serious, and it is not something that you can necessarily get your job back from doing it. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all think he's just going to magically start coaching again. He may never coach again in the NBA ever again. And part of it is we don't even know how bad it is. I do know some things that he has serially done this. This is not a one-time incident. This is something he's done a lot his whole professional career, and people just look the other way. Well, he stepped so far out of pocket this summer because they came to him. Boston came to him and said, you need to stop doing this kind of stuff. And you know what he did? He went and conquested another woman in the organization just to spite them, to say, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. And then he forced their hand, and they had to suspend him for a year. They wanted to put this out on the down low, but he thought he was bigger than everything. And that's why this happened. That's the damn truth of the situation. So you want that on your team, Nets? You go ahead. You guys are such a good dumpster fire normally. I love to see you dump that gas on there. Sure, you may get some good expertise in coaching, but the culture and everything around it behind the scenes, you don't need that kind of stuff. You have enough of it on your team already. Trust me. Yeah, there you go. Monique's saying, oh, and I forgot this one, Lex. Raptors have to hit first and never dig yourself a hole you can't get out of. Yeah, this is for sure. Like, we need to come out like Pascal did against New Orleans and set a tone, keep that tone going. You can't just disappear on it after like the first 10 minutes, Pascal. You need to keep that tone, set it, and keep it going as far throughout the 48 minutes as possible for as many of those minutes. That's standard. That is the best way to do it. We don't want to come back from behind against the Nets. That's impossible with Kyrie and Kevin in late game situations. So we do need to get our own lead and protect it and try and hold it the whole game. So I agree with that one, Monique. I think it's Raptor foot. I think they're trying to say Raptor foot, and that's that old dance. That was a dance. Savage is saying, this is not a day care. Don't want to hurt his feelings. Come on. Who are you talking about? I don't even know. Savage, you got to elaborate. This is not a daycare. Don't want to hurt his feelings. Come on. Oh, you're talking about Gary? Or are you talking about Scottie? No, listen, bro. Scottie's got to start. Scottie is a good starter for us, and I like him starting. He should be starting. I think that's what you're referencing to. It's not even that it's his feelings. It's just like, well, let's not jerk him around. We want him to stay a Raptor, and we want him to stay happy. If he wants to start, let's let him start. It's not that big of a deal. And in some ways, he is really good as a starter. So I know some people are like, no, we need to just have Scottie and Gary come off the bench. Well, Gary's coming off the bench right now, but I don't think Scottie should. I don't really think he should. Cool Cat saying, I would like to rest Fred VanVleet. I need him healthy so he can get his legs back for his shooting. Fred VanVleet is still laboring. Yeah, maybe to an extent. But listen, he got a lot of rest the last couple of days. Hopefully he can be really good energetic. Maybe he got even better in the last couple of days. Maybe his anger about the situation from New Orleans has like driven like health to him. He's like, oh, I'm so mad. Oh, I feel better. And boom, he's out there and he looks like 100% Fred. So who knows? Tom Duke saying, I agree. Nurse will hurt anyone's feeling. That man wants to win. Yeah, but there's different thing in hurting Scottie's feelings. Scottie's a little bit different than the other guys on the team for different reasons. Obviously, he's a number 4 pick, and that's the highest draft pick on our team. And, there's other things about him. There's franchise concerns that are related to him that you do want to keep him happy. So it's not even about like, you guys are phrasing it the wrong way. And maybe I shouldn't have said it initially about like, we don't want to hurt Scottie's feelings. So just forget that I said that. Let's just say that Nick likes starting him. He liked starting him all last year, obviously. And he didn't start him for the first time in his career recently. And everybody freaked out. And really, honestly, he should be a starter because he's been a designated starter his whole entire career. So if he's going to be playing tonight, he should start. And there's nothing wrong with that. He's the kind of player we can have do the jump ball. And then he's also an extra point guard beside Fred already in the beginning of the game. So I don't know. Nick's going to do what Nick's going to do. And I think Scottie should start tonight. Like I stand beside my projected starting lineup for tonight. And if it's not Thad, it should be Koloko. It should either be Koloko or Thad starting as the 5th person. Let's see. Starscream saying the only time our defense wasn't terrible was when Udoka was our defensive guy for 1 year. Yeah, even when was with you guys then, he was giving it to somebody on the side there too. I'm telling y'all, he operates in a whole different kind of way than most normal people. And I'm not even trying to be a player hater or anything. It's just that the dude has an ego that is not good as far as outside of basketball. The ego's good for coaching and for what he's trying to do for teams like he did to help the Celtics get the finals last year. But in his personal life, that ego's very destructive and very ugly because he's kind of like I said, he has conquests and he's getting conquests against the will of the people who were in charge. That was really why like they were so upset is because he didn't listen to them this summer. They warned him like at the beginning of the offseason, and he instead went and took another lover after they warned him. So he's not even listening to them. He thinks he's above it all. So you want those kind of problems, you go ahead, Starscream, is what I'm saying. But yeah, the defense stuff, whatever, you can go get other people. There's other people in the Popovich tree that you can go get that will be just as good. In fact, Jacques Vaughn is in that Popovich tree himself. Let's see. No, it's Raptor foot. It's Raptor foot. It's the dance. It's Raptor foot. It's a dance, y'all. Just go look it up. It's Raptor foot. I don't know why we're talking about Raptor foot so much. It's funny. Okay, let's see. Mike's saying Twitch emotes are words. Okay, everybody's got their own little things they're talking about. Mike's talking about emojis. You guys are talking about Raptor foot. Okay, let's keep going. Tom Duke's saying, oh, of course I do remember. Gasol doing it for sure. It's Raptor foot, y'all, guys. Raptor foot. Yeah, so unsatisfying. I know. It's just what it is. Okay, Starscream saying, laugh out loud. I'm a fan. I don't care about looking bad. I want my team to win. He's not the first guy to have an affair in the NBA, and he won't be the last. It's not one affair. I'm telling you. Okay, that's fine. That's the difference between y'all and us. And that's the difference because that's the difference between our team being run with health and good culture and not having dumpster fires break out is that mindset of what you're just put out there, Star Screen. You can't have bad people in your organization and expect it not to flare up and be a problem at some point. In fact, that's why Celtics Nation is so disappointed because they want what you want too, but they know that this isn't the healthy way to do it. Well, your team has already had really toxic problems for a couple of years now, and you guys have sucked because of it. So that's what I'm saying. You go ahead and keep picking your poison, and you'll keep getting poisoned and have a bad culture and not get anywhere as a team, which is what you guys are basically at this point. You should be so much further along in the last 2 or 3 years with this big three experiment. And where are you? You're in the same fucking place. And it's because of decisions and thinking that way. I'm telling you, exactly right. You want to do it right, do it the Masai Ujiri way. Respect women and have good people in your culture that have good and like are professional. And Udoka's not a professional. You don't want a guy like him. Trust me. He's not a professional coach because he doesn't act professional. So you go ahead. You want that? You go ahead. You think it's just going to add to winning? Well, you thought that when you got James Harden. Oh, this is just going to add to winning. Oh, that's the folly. You think that way. You got to build it right. If you don't build it right, it won't come out right. And that's the biggest flaw in your team and the Lakers is that y'all don't build things right. You do it the quick, easy way, the wrong way. And that's why you get dumpster fires. And that is what will happen. Oh, yeah. Omari's saying, do you think Udoka smashed Becky Hammon? No, absolutely not. That is not what happened. Becky Hammon, you seen that lady and you see how tough she is? You think she's going to put up with that kind of shit? And I don't even know if she likes men. So there you go, Omari. Nah, she's a classy lady and she wouldn't stoop to doing something like that. She has class and she understands professionalism. And that's how she could win a WNBA championship in her first year as a coach in that league. And all this kind of stuff. No, she has too much to respect around the league. And that's kind of insulting to say that in some ways, Omari. There's no way that happened. I'm going to tell you that right now. Just knowing her, and honestly, I don't even think her sexuality is that way. So, but I may be wrong. I'm just speculating. So, Mike's saying it takes two to tango, and people are hooking up like that on the regular. It's not new. Listen, y'all stop trying to justify this. I know y'all are young people. Listen, you work in a business you do not get with your coworkers, y'all. Seriously, you want to get in that dumpster fire? Listen, I did that myself at a bar. I was a bar back and I was dating the bartender, and we had to keep it a secret. And it was so toxic, y'all. It's not a life you want, trust me. And it's not what you want to do. Y'all get into jobs. You go ahead, go get in a job and start sleeping with your supervisor, or start sleeping with a subordinate of yours or a coworker that's equal to you. And you just see how much dumpster fire you start in your own life. It's a real, it sounds like, you're a player. You can do whatever you fucking want. You're fucking wrong. When you work in a work environment, you have to keep it professional. You're not supposed to sleep with your coworkers. Your boss is not supposed to be trying to sleep with you. I don't care how much you guys try and poo-poo what he did and say it's not a big deal. You're fucking wrong. And I'll tell you that till I'm blue in the face, because the support staff for the Celtics, she could not say no to him. And that's basically rape, y'all. That is rape at that point. Your boss is saying you have to continue to have sex with me. That's fucking rape. So y'all need to stop acting like he didn't do anything wrong and that everybody does it. That's not the case with him. Trust me. It is not the case. And sure, maybe it's all right to do it down at the gas station or McDonald's or some little small place like, I'm sleeping with my coworker. But when it's big time money and multi-million-dollar basketball franchises, that is not smart to do. You think Coach Popovich is getting his pop off with some side chick in his job? No, he's not. And he taught Udoka better than that. In fact, he's probably ashamed of him for acting this way and having this happen with his professional career. Because listen, he had it all set up. He was doing so well, and now he's fucked. Honestly, I don't know if he's ever going to coach again, y'all. He's dead with the Celtics. He won't coach them again. And it may be that the NBA just decides, you know what, we're on the down low blacklisting him from the league. We're all going to agree not to get him because he is a problem when he comes to teams. And y'all don't realize how bad the problem is because they won't come out with it. They won't tell you every little thing that he did. You think the Celtics wanted to fire him or suspend him? No, they did not. They would look the other way every which way if they could, but they know they can't because this situation is so bad. So there you go, Mike. I'm not gonna stand for this. You're gonna try and act like what he's did was not wrong, right? Well, maybe it was okay in the 80s. Maybe it was okay in the 90s, but we are more and more woke as culture and we're more professional and we don't stand for this shit. And in fact, that kind of thinking is misogynist thinking that thinks that, oh, men are just allowed to go out and take whatever they want. And that's really hurtful to women. And that's what I'm trying to get across to y'all. Udoka has been abusive towards women. And that is part of the problem here. It may not be like, oh, it's consensual. It isn't consensual when he's the boss and somebody works underneath him. That is never, ever consensual in any workplace affair. If there's a boss involved and there's a subordinate, that is always wrong. Trust me. Trust me, it is. And I mean, I don't, I can't even believe I have to explain this to you guys. That this is like seriously, this is the mature world. This isn't little playboy, I'm a teenage guy, I want to go fuck everybody world. This is the mature, professional, real world, not like your fantasy world where you're a playboy and you can go fuck whoever you want. I'm sorry, I just got to tell it the damn truth. This is how it is. You know, he can be in an open relationship and have more partners than Nia Long. I have no problem with that. He just can't mix it with work. And he couldn't even try not to do that. You go ahead and have as many girlfriends as you want, Udoka. They better not work for the Celtics, is what I'll say, you know, or have connections to the Celtics, like be the wife of one of the Celtics VPs. You know, that's a lot of what's going on here, y'all. Savage is saying their expectations of a starter he's not fulfilling. Bo Cruz is outperforming him on both ends. Talking about Scottie. Well, listen, I speculated in my stream yesterday that I think Scottie might have hit his rookie wall in his second year. That he's so strong and so good that he never hit a rookie wall last year. That he's finally hitting kind of a rookie wall in the beginning of his second year. That he may just be exhausted and tired all of a sudden, and that the exuberance and the fun of his rookie season carried him through the whole last year to not hit this wall like he's hitting now. And I really think that's what it is, that he's hitting his rookie wall in the second month of his second season. That's how badass he is. So listen, you know, maybe temporarily he shouldn't start. I can maybe get behind that, but he is a starter for this team and he will rise back up. It could very well, he had a bad game on Wednesday, and look, he'll come out and he'll get almost 30 points and get like almost a triple double like he did the other day against what team was that? Dallas or somebody. He had a 28-point game. He had like one of his best games of his career. So he's a little bit. I'm not going to bench him tonight if he's going to be up, because we don't know. He could come out tonight because he may be so fucking motivated from playing so bad against the Pelicans that he comes out tonight and you're like, holy shit, yeah, we should. I'm glad we did start him. So let's be careful, Savage, because right now Scottie is very much an up and down player, and we don't want to miss one of those ups because we punished him to sit him for like a game that he just had a hard time. And I know Nick's smarter about this, and he'll understand this. And we'll see tonight with the starting lineup. Carlos Joseph is here. Good to see another new name. 9:30 a.m. every morning, talking Raptors. This came out just after Suns owner was being investigated for being racist. Just saying. Well, you know, there is a movement around the whole entire league to kind of suss out culture problems in teams, because this is something that's been insidious and a problem in corporations and businesses around the world for a long time. Is bad culture where CEOs and people are doing ugly shit like being misogynist, being racist, making unwanted sexual advances on female subordinates. You know, they had the problem in Portland. They had the problem in Dallas. They had the problem in Phoenix. And they've sussed these places out and they've kicked them out. The NBA is the creme de la creme, a very big, huge multi-billion corporation, and they need the right people working in it. The scandals like this is wrong. They want to walk the walk and talk the talk politically and be like a good role model for people. They got to clean out this bullshit. And maybe this bullshit was allowed to exist for a long time. You can look at Donald Sterling and how long he could be the owner of the Clippers as a racist ass motherfucker. And then when Adam Silver came in as the commissioner, he said, well, I'm getting rid of you because I'm setting the tone. This is going to be a more woke league, and we're not going to put up with this kind of shit. We're going to be more progressive than the NFL. We're going to be more progressive than the NHL. We're going to be better than the MLB, and we're going to have better citizens, and we're going to be the standard of role model for how you should run a sports league without toxic bullshit around it. And they really mean this. Like they're going around and taking care of stuff that maybe should have gotten taken care of in decades and eras before, but there was no impetus to do it. It's just that we're evolving as a society and we just don't stand for this kind of shit. So look, there's a lot to this. This is a separate case than the Robert Sarver case in Phoenix, and they're different in a lot of ways. That Sarver case is awful because there was racist stuff mixed in with misogyny and just grossness. Like the son's owner would whip his dick out in the room with like young female employees and stuff. That's the kind of stuff we're trying to X out, is that ugliness like that. And listen, you guys can defend Udoka all you want, but he's wrong, and we know he's wrong. And y'all, you got to understand the details. We don't know all of them. If Matt Barnes, who was in the league, was this dude who had his wife cheat on him with Derek Fisher, and he got in a car and he drove all the way to fucking beat Derek Fisher's ass across state lines. If he's saying that he saw some of what Udoka did and it's really, really bad, and he's shocked, and he totally gets why this has happened to him, then we know it's something really bad. Seriously, if NBA insiders who know more than we do are saying, yeah, this stuff with Udoka is really, really bad. And I think that the whole thing about Udoka coming to the Nets at that moment was really just bullshit New York reporters making shit up. That I don't think Joe Tsai ever actually thought about getting him because he knew he had enough bad culture stuff going on in his team at the moment anyway. That it's like, I want more on my plate right now? Bringing this guy in would just be even more on top of the Kyrie controversy right now, the firing of Steve Nash recently. It's like he didn't need more problems and bullshit. And he came to his senses, if he was thinking about it, and said, yeah, we don't need this also. And that's really what it is. So G saying, I don't think the affairs did him in. Apparently, after someone ended it, maybe more than one, hang on, it jumped. He was harassing and threatening her, using his position. Don't like spreading rumors, but there is more. Yeah, that's what I've heard, is that like he was having a relationship, consensual, with somebody who works under him, which is never consensual, by the way. And then when she said, we can't do this anymore, I can't do this with you anymore, he said, no, you're going to continue to do this with me. And threatening messages and stuff like that. That's a big problem. And that's what I'm saying. This is not good culture. And if you want that star scream on your team, you go ahead, you get them. Raymond Jacobs saying, Lex needs Scottie to start for more fantasy points. Haha, I'm on to you. You know what? Raymond Jacob actually did just figure it out. No, you know what? Listen, his fantasy production has not been very good for me overall this season. I can't count on him in some ways. And for being the first pick I made in our fantasy draft, he's not really panning out for me in some ways. But sure, okay, I didn't think of that, but that is a selfish reason why I want Scottie to start. Raymond Jacobs, hilarious. All right, Kareem saying, at Raymond, I need Durant to drop 75 points tonight and want the Raptors to win 120-75. I love that. That's amazing. Kyrie's going to have to get his somewhere in there, Kareem. But once again, selfish fantasy needs, because he has Kevin Durant on his team and he wants him to play really well, but he wants the Raptors to win still. I love that. Mike saying, gee, it was the executive's wife and she ended the affair and he caught feelings and kept pushing to keep it. Probably to the point where everyone needed to be handled, from what I've heard. Yeah, it just got out of control. You don't think the Celtics, such a dirty organization, would have just kept it in-house and took care of it internally if they could have? That they had to do something, and the fact that they had to announce publicly that they were suspending him as the coach for a year, really just everybody's like, ooh, and now everybody wants to know. In some ways, they should have just told us kind of what happened exactly, so that there isn't as much crazy, wild speculation, that we just know the story. Then maybe it's like, okay, this is why. But because of privacy issues, they can't really. And that's why we can all like go crazy like this. But I've really paid attention to reputable sources and people that what they've been saying. And this sounds a lot like what has happened, is what Mike's saying here, is that he was having an affair. They wanted to end it and he said no. And he became kind of like one of those jealous like guys that said, no, you're still doing this with me. And then it got really kind of ugly and threatening. And meanwhile, she's married to an executive in the head office of the Celtics. Brad Stevens was very cryy in that press conference when they were announcing he wouldn't be coming back. He thought he wanted him to do a lot of good things for the Celtics in the years to come. And he knows that dream's over. He's dead to them. Like, he's not going to be able to come back after 1 year. They can suspend him for 1 year, but they're not going to rehire him. That's what nobody realizes at this point, that the damage is irreparable in some ways, and he can't be trusted to a degree in some ways. And that's part of the problem is what's happened right now with him specifically. Raymond's saying at Kareem, I don't even really get how the point system works. Last night, the ones who had 0 games got some points and got some minutes. Well, Raymond, if you get a lot of turnovers, you can go down in the season. And somebody who didn't play last night, they may not have gotten any turnovers, and you can lose points just that way. Your team could shoot worse if you played and another team didn't, and you got a worse field goal percentage by the end of the night after them, or shoot worse free throws. Same thing. So there's a couple of ways right there, Raymond, as far as with fantasy. We're doing a little bit of fancy. We're doing a little Udoka today. There's a lot going on today. All right, Monique's saying, I still want to see Gary Trent Jr. drop a 50 piece on Raptors today. Paul Jones said Gary Sr. took Jr. to the practice court right after the Cavs game. Good sign. Reminds me of Kyle in the playoffs. Let's go, Gary. Yeah, I love that story that Paul Jones said. He saw Senior grab Junior after one of the games recently and said, we're going straight to the practice and we're practicing. And I love that he drives his son like that, like he has his whole life. And this is part of the reason why Gary's going to be successful no matter what. I don't care if he starts or he comes off the bench. That man's going to be scoring baskets. He's a bucket. And his dad is a big part of it because he drove him. He was on him and he kept him going. So, yeah, I really like that story, too, when Paul Jones told us that on Raptors Today yesterday. Cool Cat saying, I hope Pascal's minute restriction is over. Scottie didn't get the start because he was returning with Pascal. Nick Nurse didn't want to repeat past mistakes, so he staggered. Scottie will start. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll start tonight. But if he doesn't, and these guys are right, like Savage, then it could be very interesting. It could be that he's trying to send a message to him to get his head straight, and that it's not just a given that you're going to start all the time, Scott, that you got to earn your spot. And if you're not playing the right quality on defense or just in general, then you may not be starting. That could be the message tonight. So we'll have to see. I'm not saying Savage isn't wrong to a degree, that we want a consistent effort and attention on the court from Scottie Barnes right now. But it may not always amount to like the same kind of statistics all the time. We need to allow him to have bad nights statistically, but he may have played really well defensively. It's really about his energy, how he looks on the court, if he's not making mistakes, and if he's closing out. I don't care about his scoring. He doesn't have to score for me to be happy. I want that baseline of him playing good defense and just being energetic and tuned in and exuberant on the court. The other stuff will all happen otherwise. And that's the problem. He hasn't looked totally like tuned in and in on the game. He seems distracted these days. Let's see. Lolita is saying M was technically in charge of billions of dollars, players, coaches, etc. He screwed up big time. That's exactly right. Is that, listen, he's not like a guy who just works down at France in the kitchen and he's having a side fling with the waitress. You know, that's this isn't like that. It's not like the fry cook is banging the waitress at France. This is not that kind of situation where it's like, oh, this is nothing. Consensual adults. Hey, it's all good. You know, this isn't like that. Lolita's exactly right. Billions of dollars are involved in this. And the Celtics nation and the fans and the people that really care about that team, there's a lot invested in this. And in some ways, he may have got too big for his britches. And he's just like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. I'm invincible. Oh, I took the Celtics to the finals in my first year as a coach. I'm going to fuck whoever I want. Ah! You know, it's like, what is this? You know, Mike's saying, I'm only justifying the thinking of the other side. I heard every opinion and how the sides formed on this. I'm just explaining the camp, and Starscream is in that camp, and I'm not. I have clearly stated. I know we talked about this a lot earlier this summer when this all came up. Yeah, I know. Listen, I totally understand the other side. I'm a man. I've lived in toxic masculinity culture in the South. I've been around young men my age and how we think and how we talk and things like that. So, no, I get where the point of view comes from. I'm just coming from an enlightened man who has kind of gotten away from those kind of misogynist thinkings myself, because maybe I thought that way as a younger person in my 20s. And I realized the folly of that kind of conquest, kind of male thinking, that kind of lifestyle, sure, it's empty and hollow. You really, you know, if you can do it and get away with it and you're finding it fulfilling, that's great. More power to you. I'm not going to hate the player. but in some ways it's very insidious, and it just isn't like good for society. In some ways, that kind of idea of like, oh, I'm just gonna go fuck whoever I want, and I don't care if they're like got boyfriends or if they're married. I don't care if I have a girlfriend. I'm just gonna do whatever I want anyway. I don't know. It's a lot of that kind of culture and that kind of thinking of just, I'm a player, I'm gonna play, I'm do whatever I want. That's fine. You go ahead. On lower levels, it's not hurt anybody. I mean, sure, you go ahead, but this is a multi-million-dollar corporation, a huge team in the NBA, and a lot of people were depending on him. And he couldn't do this kind of shit. I mean, even if it was like, if it was consensual, like he's married to Nia Long and they have an open marriage, he can go and have other girlfriends that have nothing to do with the basketball world. That's what I'm saying. That is not the activity that I'm against. It's the activity of where it crossed the line into boundaries of places where it should not have been. And that is the big problem. He go ahead, have like 3-4 girlfriends and his wife, as long as none of them have anything to do with the Boston Celtics or the team that he works for. So that's it right there. That's the crux of it. Monique saying, news and notes for y'all. Becky Hammond joining the TNT crew this month. Women empowerment. Exactly, Monique. See, look at what is this dichotomy here. We got this ugliness that I'm talking about right now. And then Monique is celebrating women and talking about Becky Hammond coming to TNT to be in the broadcast booth. That's fantastic. You go, Becky Hammond, a great branch off of the Popovich coaching tree. We are very proud of Becky Hammond and all the things that she continues to achieve in her coaching career. I'd like to see her come back to the NBA and be a head coach in the NBA someday. Kareem saying at Raymond, I lost 3 points and didn't have anyone playing. Laugh out loud. It probably was seriously like, somebody, you can lose points because other people just pass you. You could have like a certain amount of 3-pointers and boom, somebody got a bunch of 3-pointers and you gone down in points because you didn't play anybody that day. So I don't know. You guys are figuring it out. You guys are doing great. Honestly, this league has been very competitive. I like that there's a couple of different people that are in the running at the top, at the very, very top. Tom, Omari, Kareem. And, I just love it. Like you guys are really taking to it and you really know your stuff. And especially Tom. I'm very impressed with Tom being a rookie to fantasy, how well he's doing this year. Omari's saying, I hope Becky replaces Chuck or Shaq. That'd be interesting. I don't know. I don't want Chuck replaced, but Shaq, I could, Shaq goes away. It's not a big deal to me. But I absolutely have to have Ernie, Kenny, and Chuck. Those guys are essential for that broadcast. Shaq's kind of like a double Chuck. And Chuck's Chuck. Chuck is the best. Honestly, Charles Barkley should do this for the rest of his life. He's the best. I was so happy he turned down that golf stupid shit this summer. Because he doesn't need to be calling golf. He needs to be calling basketball. And I don't know. She could be very good up there. I'd rather her come in there than somebody like Draymond. Raymond's saying, Alex, can you explain that again? How some teams yesterday lost points and some teams got points, even though they had 0 games playing? It's basically this. You have no players playing. Well, other teams will get points accumulated. And it's really how many points total you have. Like, okay, you're sitting at like 15,000 points and somebody was underneath you, but they had players playing last night. Well, they scored certain points. They get above your scoring points. You didn't have anybody playing. That's how you drop in points without playing anyone that night. That's exactly how there. It's just you didn't have anybody to accumulate stats, and they overtook you in the race in that stat category, whether it's steals, blocks, rebounds, assists, points. That's a way you can get past when you're not having anybody play. And if you have people playing and people are passing you and they don't have anybody playing, it's from the shooting and the turnovers categories that you're losing points in because they're shooting better or you or something like, stuff like that. Let's see. Lolita's saying at Mo, I love Gary's focus. You can tell he's trying his best, whether it goes in or not. He's a fighter. I hope he stays with us and shows the haters how really good he is. I love him. Yeah, I do too. I want Gary to beat all the odds. I want him to make Nick Nurse happy. I want him to get a contract with our team. I want him to be one of our best shooter scorers for the next few years, continuing to do some of the great things he's already doing. We've got to remember he's such a young player. He's going to get better and better. He has the right pedigree, he has the right work ethic. He's the right team kind of guy. He is a really good fit for our team as long as he plays good defense. And that's what Nick has told him. This is mandatory. You play good defense, you can be a Raptor. But if you don't, we're not going to want you. So as long as he's fulfilling the defensive stuff and all the shooting stuff is going to get better and better. And I love him being on this team long term. I'm not one of these people that wants him to go away. If we can make it work, I want him to stay. G saying Nurse called out our Gary, and Gary's response to the bench question was, I am good with what the coach draws up. Talk about maturity and professionalism. That's the same for all the, like him and Scottie, it's the same thing. It's like coach is going to tell us what our assignment is, and it's our job to do it. If he tells us we're coming off the bench, then that's the job. That's why when Scottie said it's fine on Monday after the game that he came off the bench, he meant it. Because the coach is the coach, and that is the hierarchy of things. This isn't like some other NBA teams where the coach is a joke and that LeBron's really the coach and that like nobody really respects the coach and that they just do whatever the fuck they want. No, Nick Nurse has control and he is in charge, and they really do respect it right from the very top, Pascal all the way down. That Pascal gets treated the same way that just Jeff Doughton Jr. would. And that's the thing. They all respect his word and his plan and his ideas and what he wants them to do. They have to buy in. And part of buying in is taking different roles. If he wants you to take a bench role for a night, you have to respect that and trust in Coach Nick Nurse's plan and that he's the coach, he's in charge, and you just do what he says. And that is a very important part of having a good coaching system and people that will trust him. Like, listen, let's talk about the Nets situation. Kyrie, when they hired Steve Nash, said, we don't need a coach. We can just do it ourselves. How do you think he is to coach? Do you think he allows Jacques Vaughn to just be the end all be all and say, this is how we're doing it? No. And that could be part of the problem with why the Nets aren't coached properly, is because they have Kyrie who believes he doesn't need a coach. He says, Kevin and I are so good. We've been around for so long. We don't need a coach. So that's the thing. You need your guys to buy in and be there with the coach and say, okay, well, this coach wants me to come off the bench. I'm going to trust him. This may be really good for me. That's what Gary's thinking. And you're right. He's being very mature and very professional. And kudos to him, because some young players would not do that. And they may be getting a little in their head. But Gary's advanced for his age. Like, I keep forgetting how old he is. He's only like 23, y'all. He's very, very young. And, him being so mature and professional already is really a testament to his dad being senior and already had played for the Raptors. Let's see. Logical saying, I stopped going to clubs like over 10 years now. I've been off that for a time. Well, I'm not even saying that's part of it. I'm just saying in general. Mike, I'm not going to judge you like specifically. I'm just saying that a younger mentality. I know you're in your 30s. I have to remember that. A younger mentality is to be like, oh, don't hate the player, hate the game, or just like let him do whatever he's going to do. It's just sex. It's just like, oh, don't be busting up his like Playboy lifestyle and stuff like that. I get that. And it's not that I don't want men to be able to be whoever they want and have sexual conquest and do what they want. It's just do it in a way that's not blurring into professional lines and causing dumpster fires. I'm not like some guy who thinks, oh, every guy should just be with one. If you want to have multiple partners, you want to do this. I'm not a traditionalist in that sense. I'm a traditionalist in the sense that you work for a big company and you have to be a certain level of professionalism with the people you work with. And he did not follow that. Go ahead, have as many partners and lifestyle that you want. It's just got to be outside of your work. And he didn't keep them separated. That's really what it is. Kareem saying, I'm hoping the Raptors crash the boards tonight. Kind of tired of watching basketball players watch the basketball. We were capable enough to grab 20 to 25 offensive rebounds. Yeah, having only like 3 offensive rebounds the other night was insane. I can't understand that with our team makeup and the guys we have. Kudos to the Pelicans on really boxing out the other night. Well, I think we can get way more offensive rebounds tonight because the Nets aren't the best at rebounding or boxing out. And hopefully we will take huge advantage of that tonight. And I'd love to see that 20 to 25 offensive rebounds. Let's get our quota that we should have got on Wednesday added to the quota for tonight and get a really super, super effort in that category. I love that. G saying many current stars didn't have amazing second year stats and many of them had much less pressure on them. Barnes will be totally fine. Yeah, he will be. He will be for sure. And I think all the experts that are saying that we're going to sound so stupid and silly. Everybody quibbled and worried or kind of like said he's a bust. There's a lot of fans of other teams that are making fun of him. They're saying this guy was rookie of the year and this is how bad he is. Well, much like Chris said on his Hustle Play podcast with Christian Coloco recently, yeah, you guys go ahead and treat Scottie like this. This is just exactly how y'all treated Pascal a couple years ago. And you see what happened with Pascal now. And you don't think that the same damn thing's going to happen with Scottie Barnes? Y'all can go ahead and sully him, slander him now, and later you will eat your words. And because Twitter has receipts, we'll come back and we'll realize who it was, and we'll be like, yeah, you said this, motherfucker. Well, look at Scottie now. And that's how it's going to be. And Chris says there's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's just when is it going to happen, when Scottie's going to prove everybody wrong and make everybody who slandered him now look real bad. Real bad. And that's from Chris Boucher's mouth. Lolita saying Toronto Raptors 2023 NBA champions. Toronto Raptors NBA champions 2023. Toronto Raptors NBA champions 2023. Say it every morning. Put it in existence. Manifest destiny. Tom Duke saying we switch up our defense schemes with lots of success. Doesn't our half-court offense seem stagnant at times? Our defensive schemes are real good, and Nick's a genius, and we do man, we do zone, we do this, we do that, we trap, we don't trap, we double, we don't double. We switch it up all the time and keep them guessing. It's really, really smart. Now, on offense, there's certain players on our team that are really conducive for half-court offense, and certain players that really are better at full-court transitional kind of offense and have a harder time getting buckets in the half-court offense. It's almost like Nick Nurse may need to really look at his players and see who thrives in a half-court offense and who thrives in a more transitional, up and down the court kind of offense, and maybe put those units out according to that. Like Fred is a very good half-court offense kind of guy. In fact, we may need him out there at all times if we have to run half-court, because he absolutely is the best essential at that. Like Scottie's okay at it too, and Thad's okay at, but Fred's the best one. But that's what I'm thinking. What can we figure out who is good at which kind of offense? And maybe if he reads the game and the flow and how it's going, where we're having to play a lot of half court, maybe he needs to get more half court kind of players out there like Gary and Fred. And if it's more transitional, then bam, it's like get Precious, get Scottie, get these guys that love to run and get the ball up and down. Delano. That if it's turning into like a fast break, high tempo game up and down the court, boom. So maybe really that he wants to delineate which Raptors are better suited to help us be more effective in a half court offense and which ones are better at running and being out there and getting up and down the court. And think about personnel and who he's putting in that kind of way. Forgetful is here, and he's saying somebody pointed out that Michael Jordan Bulls championship team started with 3 best plus 2 role players. I said this myself this week. 4th best off the bench. I hate the idea of the coach being constrained by player expectations. Yeah, that was the way it always was. When I was growing up, I watched a lot of good teams in the 80s and 90s. And it wasn't that you played your absolute 5 best in starting lineup. You always had a 6-man that was one of your better players than some of your starters. That you had to have that punch guy like a Gary could be for us, that is just scoring off the bench unit. And that there was nothing wrong with this. Nobody made this big deal. Nobody talked about, Ricky Pierce is coming off the bench for the Milwaukee Bucks, and he's obviously their best scorer. He's scoring like 25 points a game, but he doesn't start. Nobody made a big deal out of that back in the day. They just gave Ricky Pierce the 6th man of the year, and the Milwaukee Bucks had their best scorer coming off the bench. They did that for real in the late 80s. Ricky Pierce, go look him up. And that's what I'm saying. Nobody questioned that. Nobody gave a shit. It's just in this superstar era of LeBron and Kevin Durant, where it's like a status symbol. And the young people that have been brought up on basketball recently, value this. I never valued this as a kid. When I watched basketball, I knew that there's good players on both that don't start and do start. And like I said, the example I used the other day was the Bulls. The Bulls had a role player center and a role player point guard, shooting guard like Ron Harper, and then boom, they had Michael, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman or Horace Grant. And that their best other best player was Tony Kukoc, and then maybe they had somebody like Jason Caffey or somebody off the bench, and some other guys that were kind of close to being better than Luke Longley and Ron Harper. Whereas Ron Harper Sr. was averaging like 5 points a game as a starter for the Bulls when they three-peat. It's like, why can't you do stuff like that? You have a role player. That's like Thad Young starts and like Luke Longley or Will Perdue starts for the Bulls back then. It just makes sense to me. You want to put the best opportunity to win, Nick? That's your philosophy? You want the Raptors to have the best chance? Well, mix role players in with your best players in the starting lineup and save some of those best players for the bench. And I think that that's really smart strategy because it's worked over and over again for teams throughout the history of the NBA in the past. And it's just this new mentality of this all about highlights and dunks and offense. People that don't value Kem Birch for his defense and his rebounding and all the good things he does. And they just care about dunks and who scored what and the flashy dribbles and shit like that. None of that shit really matters. What matters is fundamentals and winning and role players and playing as a team and rebounding and defense. Meanwhile, everybody will celebrate the hell out of a 360 dunk or some flashy ass shit that LaMelo Ball does or something like that. Fuck all that shit. You want winning basketball? Go look at the old Pistons. Go look at the old Bulls. Go look at the old Spurs. And stop like this whole culture of superstar LeBron highlight. Ooh, you have to start to be good. All that mentality is stupid at this point. It really is. The more we can go old school in some ways, the better. Let's see. Kenrick saying, I like to see the team come out aggressive tonight. If Gary or Scottie doesn't start, I like to see Kem. Yeah, I don't know if this is exactly the right matchup for him. He would have been really good on Wednesday, but with Claxton being such a lanky guard, he's not necessarily needed to be out there. But then again, maybe we could do something like what the Pelicans did to us on Wednesday with Kem carving out a lot of room in there because he could probably push around all of the nets. They don't have any really beefy guys other than Morris off the bench. They have one of the Morris brothers, and he may be their only beefy guy on their team at this point. So maybe that's a good strategy. I don't know. Kenrick, Chronic Art James on Facebook. Yeah, okay, maybe. Savage is saying Pascal at heart. Scottie has Twitch. Man, this guy's just going out of his way to go after Scottie right now. Savage, let's be nice. Let's be nice. I know you are one of our trolls, and you will bring some negativity in here, but Scottie doesn't really deserve any of this stuff that you guys are doing to him right now. He really doesn't. He's a good player, and he's going to be great still, no matter what. Monique saying, did anyone see Adonis dribble? And it's so cute. 2046 Toronto Raptors draft pick. What do y'all think? Adonis. You're talking about Drake's son, Adonis. You know who I saw dribbling? I saw Fred Jr. and his sister, Saya, right? Saya? Something. Well, the Fred VanVleet kids were at OVO this week, and they were dribbling and shooting and running around on the court, and it was really cute. And Fred was kind of coaching them. I saw that clip of Fred Jr. taking shots, and then so Drake's son is out there dribbling and playing too. There's gonna be so many different little superstars from with the Gary Trent's brothers, and then you got Thad's kids. There's so many youngsters coming up. You got to wonder what these generations, how many of these kids will be Raptors someday? Will we see a Fred VanVleet Jr. in a Toronto Raptors jersey someday? I bet you Fred VanVleet Sr. would really, really love to see that. That'd be awesome. All right, let's see. Mike's saying, Lex, I agree with you completely on this from a professional side. Instant toxic mass and issues. And Masai don't have guys like that. The respect pillar is for players, coaches, anyone, for women especially. Well, Masai made it a habit to hire a lot of women in high places in the franchise for the Raptors. That's why we don't have these kind of issues. Is women ain't going to deal with this shit, especially if they're in leadership positions. They're not going to put up with this kind of crap. And that's very, very smart. It really is important to run. If you have a very expensive billion-dollar corporation, to run it correctly. And there's so many out there that do not, and they fall eventually with scandal, with stupid shit, because people got greedy or they just were doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And the Raptors, part of us building our house is very much like the Three Little Pigs. You can build your house out of straw. You can build your house out of sticks. You can build your house out of bricks. And when you build your house out of good, solid brick, the foundation is strong. And that's a culture thing with the NBA teams. And some of these problems, like the Phoenix Suns, maybe part of their problems on the court were a little bit influenced by the problems in the front office for all this time. The problems with the Clippers historically had a lot to do with Donald Sterling's racism and just being an asshole. That can really hold you back. The foundation of what you build your team on. So you want to build your team with toxicity, you'll get that down the road. That's the whole lesson here with this discussion about the Nets and Udoka. You want to do that, you go ahead. You'll get what you get. Let's see. G saying, after the 2019 team, Kawhi, Gasol, and Serge left and the Raptors went younger. This is partly why the game gets away from them when they sometimes struggle to rein it in. Once they gain more experience, they will be lethal. We've had a pretty good like keep up with not losing veteran headiness and closing out games and winning still with Fred and just Pascal kind of leading that OG2. But yeah, there was a leadership void that's gone away since the championship with the really older players on our team and Kyle leaving too. It's fallen on Fred and Pascal's hands, and they're not necessarily the oldest guys in the league. And there is a little bit, but in some ways, we're okay in this department still because these guys are ahead of their time as far as age. Like they may be younger bodies, but these guys act like they're in their early 30s as far as veteran leaders on the court, Fred and Pascal. So that kind of glossed over and helped with this in some ways. But the experience we're already had with. These guys have won championships already. And these New Orleans guys, who on their team has won yet? And in some ways, that is very helpful, informative kind of stuff to know is how to get there and what it takes. Because sometimes you're just going up ceiling, hitting your ceiling higher. You don't know what it takes to get to that next level. Well, Fred and Pascal do to a degree more so than the guys on the Pelicans or other teams. So that experience there is we're actually ahead because we do have championship experience. But yeah, that void of very good leaders and vets at the top has been tough to fill at different times because some of the guys weren't totally ready. But it sounds like Pascal, Chris Boucher, OG, they're all stepping more and more into leadership kind of roles around the team vocally and by example and just being those kind of guys. And it's really nice to see that blossoming, especially with Pascal and Chris, because I didn't really see them ever being kind of leader types as young players. Let's see. Mike's saying fundamentals will always matter in the game of basketball based on the rules laid out and how the game is played. Those things will always dictate the winner who has the fundamentals to make winning. Fundamentals keep you from making mistakes. That's the most important thing. If you fundamentally play well, you won't make as many mistakes. And the team that doesn't make as many mistakes usually wins. So that's why fundamentals are so good. To be good fundamentally is very important. Monique's saying we could really use Ron Jr. shooting tonight in Brooklyn. Really? Ron's been shooting that well down there. All right. Cool Cat's saying our previous coach who went on to head coach Minnesota Timberwolves was a great offensive coach for us. He created some beautiful offensive sets and plays. I wish we could still use those plays. Chris Finch. Yeah, he was so briefly here. Like we got him less than half a year and they snatched him up and took him from us pretty quick. And that was that Tampa year. And it was really kind of an ugly year because Nick, like he bailed on Nick and it hurt his feelings. I could tell because he's one of his best friends. And I mean, he can't be mad at him because he's getting a head coaching job and he's still there. But it also was like Nick was very much depending on him to fill a void on his roster as a offensive coach. And then when he went away, there was some slack that had to be picked up, and the workload got even worse for Nick Nurse and the rest of the coaches when Finch left to go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, yeah, it was tough. He left him in a lurch, but it is what it is. It is how it is, and it's going to be – and he wouldn't change anything. And in some ways, Nick's happy for his friend, even if it did hurt him himself. All right, let's do a wrap up in general, just under 2 hours. And I got to do the real mascot matchup. All right, last time we saw the real mascot matchup, the Raptors in a pontoon plane, trying to get off a runway. He's pushed Harry the Hawk out of the thing, but the plane, he's trying to get it going and get it lift off. Well, it won't lift off. And actually, the Raptor doesn't know how to fly the plane. In fact, he gets to the end of the runway and he just has to stop. And he's like, man, why did I even try and do this? I don't know what I'm doing. Meanwhile, Harry has jumped up and Nurse Annette has showed up bloodied out of the head coming from the house after him like a zombie. Like, I'm going to get him. So the Raptor jumps out of the plane on the runway, and Nurse Annette wants to fight. She's rolling up her sleeves, and this is going to be like a Raptor versus Nurse Annette blow fight on the runway. Like they are going to actually go pow, pow, pow. And Harry the Hawk is kind of just standing there. He may be kind of an observer, or maybe he'll help Annette. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So let's find out. Like tonight at the game at Barclay, who will win? The Raptor fighting Nurse Annette. And yeah, this may be a drag out kind of battle. I don't know how this is going to go. Hopefully the Raptor can fight on a runway fight and just beat her. Such a crazy like story. I'm sorry it's gotten so weird this year. And maybe it's not the anime world as last year, and it's not as fun in some ways, but hopefully over the season it will evolve and it'll be more and more fun. It's kind of more like a Tarantino movie at this point. Crazy. All right, our injuries for tonight: Otto Porter Jr., Precious Achua are not available for the Raptors. Pretty much everybody else is, except for the 905 guys, are with 905. I believe Justin Champagny, Ron Harper Jr., and Jeff Doughton Jr. may be all away and not available tonight. So everybody else is still there, including Chris Boucher. So fret not about Chris Boucher being there or not tonight. He will be playing. For the Nets, Alondes Williams is out. Ben Simmons is out. Yuta Watanabe is out. And Day'Ron Sharpe is day-to-day. So he could be showing up. But that's the injury report. Our refs tonight are Ed Malloy, Justin Van Dyne, and Nate Green. Not the best ref crew, but statistically, they favor us over the Brooklyn Nets. But it's Ed Malloy, guys. And we always have to wonder what Ed Malloy's presence means. Is it because it's a big-time game? Is it because the NBA head office wants Brooklyn to win and they want Ed Malloy to help that happen? Well, hopefully it'll be a Raptors victory, and that, Ed Malloy will not be a huge factor, and he'll just be a good ref tonight. We'll have to see. So that's the basics. And then my keys to win is we need to be the Raptors. The Nets are a team that aren't as good as us with getting after things and teamwork and team overall, chemistry, and just having a quality of talent throughout their whole roster like we do, like 10 or 12 deep, compared to them where they're like kind of like 4 deep, and then there's a lot of like kind of roster filler as far as players on their team. So we need to be the better team all around as far as getting after it and out raptoring them. We need to get on the boards. We need to cause turnovers. We need to make our shots. Let's make our open shots tonight, Raptors. And let's just have a better offensive game in general, being more effective in all kinds of ways. Monique saying, a bit off topic, Uncle Mark Gasol again. Powell had a baby boy, and Dewan playing well overseas. Okay, so she's giving us a little international update that Pau Gasol had another baby, so Mark Gasol is an uncle again. And Dewan Hernandez is playing well overseas. Tom Duke saying, fluid storyline always in the mascot matchup. So much suspense. Let's freaking go. Raptors, be great. Yes, Tom Duke, you go to Raptors freak. Tom Duke, always appreciate you. Nice one. Thank you. Cheers. Happy Friday, everybody. And David Saborin says trophy. I like that. Trophy is a good word and something that I like. Okay, guys. Like I said, on Friday, it's TGIF. We have not won on a Friday, the team yet. We need to break that. We need to break not winning against the Nets so far this season. We need to break losing from Wednesday and get on the winning side again. There's all kinds of different reasons why we need to win tonight in Barclays Center and do the best we can and just get that W. W stream for W, man. W for you, nameless. I will never know your name, but that's okay. You would just be the one that is nameless. That's right. All right, guys. Have a great Friday. Do it like the Raptors would in your own sphere of the world. Whatever job you're set in front of you, what you have to do it with the excellence and the quality of the Raptors organization, a foundational organization that's built without toxicity and silliness, hanky-panky. Just get it done right in the Raptors quality way with professionalism and integrity and your best effort. That is the way we do it here. Fun guy saying, hey, what's up, bro? Just on the 407 while watching, thinking about this game. We need to beat Durant. Please, Raptors. Laugh out loud. Yeah, you drive safe, fun guy. And keep your eyes on the road. And I hope you're enjoying your Friday morning so far and just have a great day. W Stream, thank you, Mike. Go check out Logical Raptors Fanatics YouTube channel. Always great content there. All right, guys, let's go Raptors!